All right. Welcome everybody to the HolloTalk podcast. This is Jetpack Nick, and I'm here with a very, very, very special guest today. My guy, Snyp Luciano. Say what's up to the people.
What up, people? What's goody?
Chilling, man. Hope everybody good, blessed, man. Staying out this heat, man. It's hot out here.
Oh yeah, it's hot.
Super hot out here. But man, I'm glad to have you on the HolloTalk podcast, man. I've been trying to get you on for a long, long time. Probably since we did season 1. We on season 4 now. So
that's crazy.
I'm glad to have you here.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations to make it. That's a big hurdle right there, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, listen, man, it's been a lot of hard work, dedication to it.
It gotta be. If you're on season 4.
A lot of people come and do podcasts or whatever, and people flame out pretty quick. But for me to be on season 4 and have as much content as I have with a lot of the dope people I've had on the podcast, that says a lot about the reputation. Yeah. You feel me?
For sure. Definitely.
Yeah. But this ain't about me though. This is not about me. This is about you, my brother. Yeah. So listen. So for the people who don't know who you are, can you let them know who you are, what you're about, and what you do?
I'm a hip hop artist. Content creator. TikTok influencer. I just do a lot of entertainment. I'm an entertainer. Artist entertainment. So you can look me up at Snyp Luciano. All of my social media is easy to find them on pretty much every platform. And you'll get to really get to know me. So you'll get music and you'll get entertainment. You'll be entertained. Trust me.
For sure. You're an artist extraordinaire, man. You're the total package.
Yeah, exactly. Man. I'm the whole package, man. I'm a director and all that.
Sure. Okay, let's actually get into that though, because like me, you was talking about that off the record. The whole acting thing, because I know you to be from music. I know you from being a rapper.
Right.
But a lot of people might know you from the TikToks and the other things that you got going on. So let's kind of talk about that side of things first before we get to the music and everything. So with the TikToks and the acting and like you said, directing and everything like that, what do you want to do as far as being in that space?
I want to do documentaries. I want to do short films, long films, anything. Just any type of production that entertaining production. But I like documentaries. I like doing documentaries, storytelling. Autobiography type stuff. And making that into a film, like that type of stuff. That world is the world I want to kind of. And I always wanted to go into that world, but now I'm like to that point where it's like I might just start pursuing that. Being that I'm doing a lot of video production and stuff like that. So that's the world that we're leaning more toward.
Okay. So you think you want to be more behind the camera, or you enjoy being in front of the camera a little more?
Definitely more behind the camera. More behind the camera. I don't mind being in front of the camera though. I definitely will be in front of the camera.
Of course.
But I don't have to be in front of the camera. Like I enjoy bringing that out of people and seeing, coaching people and watching them, deliver it and then looking at the results of it and being like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like seeing themselves in that light. I'm good at that type of stuff. So it will be more behind the camera, but you will see me in front of the camera for sure.
All right, because one of the dope things that I had seen, I follow you on the gram or whatever, and I had seen that you had posted a video with you and DeAndre Barnes, and I think it was the video called "How to Make a TikTok" or something like that, right?
Yeah. That's on my
that
YouTube,
video was dope to me. I was like, he's actually explaining how to make a TikTok through a TikTok video. That's hard.
And it's so crazy how that came about. It was like it was because and I'm glad you peeped that. I'm glad you reacted like that, because that's something new that I'm displaying.
Right.
I was working with this girl from Miami, and we was usually when I work with other artists, I usually have my brother there, and he's he has his video production company, so he'll sit there and get behind the scenes footage of me doing what I'm doing. So he had we was together one day. He was putting some stuff together, and it was showing me and the girl creating the TikTok, and I was like, that's pretty cool, because that's giving people another side, showing people another side of me that I can't show. I can only show what I'm doing. I can only show you like the end result of what you get, like
for sure.
That I display. But I can't get somebody getting me do it. So when he did that, I was like, throw the TikTok, the actual final product at the end of it, and let's just show them the whole thing. And I was like, that's entertaining right there. I think people are gonna they're gonna invest in that. They're gonna like seeing that, like, because people are interested in seeing the process of creating it. I had people hit me up and say, "Damn, I didn't know you put so much work into doing that. Like, it's actually a process." So I think that's pretty cool. That's something that you're gonna actually start seeing more of on my channel.
No, because for me, like, that was dope to see, because like I'm pretty proficient in like every other social media except TikTok. Like, I don't really be on TikTok like that. Like, I see, TikToks people send me or whatever the case. But as far as me knowing how to use it, how to shoot a TikTok, how to edit it and all the filters and everything else that go with it, I have no idea. I might as well be an old person. Like,
right, yeah. And even in the videos that I was doing, it was like I was pretty much just showing. I showed you, pretty much saw me creating it, but I didn't really get into the detail of really breaking it down. Because I mean, that is pretty much what you saw, was just a summary of me creating it. Like, it was, of course, it was longer than that, actually doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really, go into the details of, okay, you got to do this to do that, and then to chop it up. I didn't do all that, but you just saw me creating it. You see what goes into it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it comes easy to me as far as with the editing and stuff like that. But I do hear people saying, like, I don't know, I really don't know what to do. So, that's actually a service that I offer. I make myself available for people like that. If you want coaching and stuff like that, because I could coach you through it. You know what I'm saying? Coach people to how to work it. That was the reason why I went out to LA, to help D with his TikTok, because, what I'm saying, he was trying to, he just wanted to get it started. And, he wants to kind of find his niche or whatever. So he went, like, within that weekend, he went from like 30 followers to 11,000 followers just in those 4 days, we was working.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, he is well known in the film industry, and he on one of the best shows on TV, Snowfall.
So make sure y'all follow him on TikTok too, because he wants to make sure he keeps that audience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to just rely on that for your to be able to display to your following or keep your following. You want to keep them. So follow his TikTok, because you're gonna see a lot more with me and him too. So we was just talking. We got some shit coming.
Oh yeah, shouts out to DeAndre Barnes, man.
Shout out to DeAndre Barnes.
I would love to have him come on the HolloTalk podcast, talk to him about his whole journey and everything that he got going on too, man. That'd be dope for sure.
That could definitely happen.
All right, well, hey, we gonna talk a little bit on the record about that. But this your episode right now, man.
Yeah.
No, so transitioning a little bit, just a little bit, right? Because I'm interested to know, like, what your thought process is behind transition. I won't even say transitioning, but transitioning from doing music to being very, very frequent on social media. Do you feel like your time in music has made it easier to transition to social media? Like, just being able to work the market, if you will, or market to a certain type of demographic, a certain type of way.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, definitely. Music was always pretty much an introduction into the entertainment world for me. You know what I'm saying? And like when I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor before I started rapping. Okay. But then, when I started rapping, I was like, that's pretty much a bridge, a leeway to get into that world. And you know what I'm saying? So it was something that came easy to me. And you know what I'm saying? I was surrounded by hip hop, so everybody was, that was my life. So it was like I went ahead and did that, and going through that experience, it definitely teaches you how to, how to operate in the entertainment world, and as an artist. But social, I grew with social media pretty much, so it was just like those are, it was like pretty much, even though it was two separate things, as far as at one point it wasn't, social media and music wasn't really intertwined like that. Right. At one point, I remember when I don't know if you remember MySpace. Mm-hmm. So I remember when MySpace first came out, it was just a profile page. You had pictures. It was just, people was talking. It was just a networking site. And then one of my homies, he had figured out how to put some type of embedded code in there where you could put your music up there. And I remember I thought that was the craziest shit in the world. Like, I was like, yo, this is this is dope. And at that point, that's when I was like, let me intertwine my music shit with that. Cause now I don't have to take a CD and send it off, go to the post office. And you know what I'm saying? Now it's like, all I gotta do is say, yo, just click this shit and I'm gonna send you this email and you could listen to it. So that was pretty much the introduction of intertwining social media and music for me. You know, so it came pretty easy. It was a smooth transition.
Yeah. So like I want to know this too, because are you independent, like musically?
Yeah, I'm independent. Yeah, I'm an independent artist. Yeah.
Okay, so being that you're an independent music artist, right? And you also, I mean, social media, you make your paper off of, the content that you create. Like, do you think that that's the best way to go about creating content, doing it on an independent level, whether that's music or social media content, or you think you should partner up with, a big label head or a big partnership, social media?
I think everybody's situation is different. It really all depends. It really all depends what you want, what you in it for. Who you collaborating with. That's everybody's situation is different. For me, right now at this moment, I like the freedom of being independent and stuff like that. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it personally. I work on my own terms. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like I like it like this, but somebody else may not want to, think as much. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, when you're independent, you got to do everything. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be successful, you got to do the same. Y'all got to do the same things as what a major is doing if you want to get those type of major results.
Right.
So it's just like what you put in is what you get out of it. But you do have to put more into it. Everybody doesn't want to think like that. Everybody does not want to do all that. They'd rather have somebody else do it. Mm-hmm. So it just all depends on you. It depends on the person.
No, I mean, because I asked that because like I've had like other artists like with the music or whatever other type of art that they're into, and some of them say independent, some of them got aspirations of reaching a major or whatever. So I just be wanting to get the thought process of each artist that come on just to see what you think about that portion of the game, or if you thought about if the opportunity presented itself, I would go on a major instead of staying independent. Those kind of things.
Yeah, you never know, and the opportunity may present itself in front of me where I'm like, hey, this is a sweet deal. I can't. I mean, I don't see myself giving up anything. So let me go ahead and let's go ahead and see it. Let's see what happens. If you don't like it, then it just didn't work out. At the end of the day, you can always go back independent.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You can always go back independent.
Right. Exactly. So But I'm not gonna say I'm just like strictly not, just independent and opposed to majors and stuff like that. Not at all. Just every situation is different. So it depends.
Okay. So with the music, right? I mean, I've talked to you, like I said, off the record or whatever, but we can talk more about it now. But when people listen to your music, where do they like immediately think that you from? Because I'll tell you where I thought you was from.
You're probably gonna say Los Angeles, West Coast.
For sure.
Right?
I like when I first heard your music, I'm like, man, he sound like a Cali dude, man.
I've been getting that. I've been getting that most of my rap, my rap run. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as I've been doing it, pretty much people say I sound like I'm from out there. And I think that's just from the inspiration of growing up on West Coast music. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy because like I was listening to like underground shit back in the day, like West Coast shit that, it wasn't even mainstream. So when I got older and then I started going to LA and shit like that, I'll be knowing about certain hoods and shit like that. Yeah. Like I meet people out there, like my boy from Compton, he'd be like, man, you from here, man. Everybody, even people out there be like, man, you from here? Like it's just like I don't know. So I guess because I just grew up on it and listening to West Coast shit. You know what I'm saying? And I listened to probably the same shit that they was probably listening to that they was growing up on. So yeah, that's where that comes in. That's why that comes into place because I got that. I get that all the time.
No word, because like so for the people who don't know, like where are you from originally?
I was born in New York, Queens, New York. And I moved from New York when I was like 9-10 years old to North Carolina. And, I was raised there. And but I bounced around a lot. Like as far as like I stayed every summer of my life growing up in New York and in DC and Baltimore, and I would just bounce around a lot. But so that's why I just got that versatility where I sound like I could be from all different types of areas.
No, because that's like an interesting thing to me, because I'm really an avid music listener. So like when you first listen to somebody, like you generally ask the question of like, I wonder where this person's from, or like you listen to see what that type of style is, right? So
absolutely,
like I'm pretty sure I don't got to tell you, but like New York hip hop has been like something that you could really just pinpoint for a very, very long time. But then it came a time where New York artists started sounding like everywhere else. Now, it hasn't been like to the point where I was like, damn, they sound like Cali rappers. Like I've never like had that experience. So I can't even think of a New York MC that could be like, hey, you sound like you from California.
He's like from
like,
Cali,
you got the ones that sound like they're from Atlanta, or the ones that sound like they're from Houston and shit like that. But Cali, that's a different thing. So I'm like,
I can't think of you're right.
So for me, talking to you, I'm like, you from New York, and you sound like you from LA.
That's crazy.
How did this happen? Like, does it hold any kind of like weight for you to be like, damn, like I'm from New York, but I sound like I'm from the West Coast? Is it like what does that mean for you, or how does that make you feel?
I don't know. It doesn't really. It's funny to me, like when people say that, and then I listen to it, I'm like, I mean, I can see how you get that, because like I said, like I was influenced by a lot of it, so it doesn't really surprise me. But I think it's cool that, you know what I'm saying, that you think I'm from somewhere else that I'm not. Because it just adds to the whole that was my whole thing as far as just like with artists. Like I miss that part of listening to the artist and getting to know an artist, like just the whole illusion. You think you got all this. Even when I remember back in the day when you didn't even see how an artist really looked. Like you just had all type of like imagination of how this person looked in your head. So I like that part of, creating and stuff like that, and that thought process, putting that thought process on people, and like, I wonder where he's actually from. Where he sound like, I bet you he's from here and shit. So, that's cool to me.
No, I mean, cause like I said, people, especially in music, like people take pride of like their region or where they're from, because that's what influences the sound of the music, the style of dress, the type of words you say, or the inflections in which you say them. Like, like New York is over here, California is over here. Like, how do you marriage those two together? I mean, and you got the South too in North Carolina, so it's
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm unique. Like, I got a mixture of all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? All of that, all of those areas are part of me. You know what I'm saying? Because I spent a lot of time in all these areas. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I never wanted to put myself in a box or anything and just say, I'm from here and this is how we dress out here. And I don't dress like, wherever I'm at. I don't dress like them. If I'm in LA, I probably do blend in like more than, most places. Cause even in New York, I'll stand out because I look like a West Coast nigga. Like I dress, I guess I got that type of style. That's what people say. But I just put on what I like.
No, for sure. I mean, so you got the flannel one with the hat to the back, looking like DJ Pooh, man.
You said DJ Pooh. That is funny.
Shouts out to DJ Pooh.
Shout out to DJ Pooh, man. That's not the first time I got that one either.
Oh, word?
Hell yeah, DJ Pooh. That's funny. I don't see it. I don't see DJ Pooh.
No, I'm just talking about the fit, man. That's all.
That's funny. That is hilarious, man. I get everybody, man. I done heard it all, man. It's usually a West Coast dude I'm getting compared to.
Nah, word. I mean, listen, like I told you, like if I didn't know, and like I never talked to you about like this particular topic, then I'll be like, yeah, bro, he's from LA. Like it's not a question.
It's evident. Yep.
No, that's dope.
I get it.
Like that's dope to be able to blend in and a lot of the different places that you've experienced. Because I mean, that's the whole point of traveling and just taking in those experiences. Being able to adapt to it, or take parts of wherever you at and just apply it to who you are, and just become one big, or one big
absolutely
thing.
And I'm still growing. Like I'm still traveling. I'm still going new places. So you know what I'm saying? Whenever I do put out more music, you're gonna hear all that in my music. You're gonna hear that influence of wherever I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like
I was just about to ask you that too. So like how do you feel being in so many different places that are so different from one another to a degree? Like how do you feel like that's influenced your music up to this point?
It just gives me a broad mind. Like when I'm creating, you know what I'm saying? It's like when I'm creating, it's like I don't think too much about, you know, what other people think, but I do want to appeal to, I do want I do want to say things in a broad way where most people will get it, you know what I'm saying? If they understand, you know, if they understand it. So I do try to say things more broad that, you know, and that's one thing you know, when I travel different places, everywhere is different. They
For
do
sure.
things differently, but at the end of the day, you know, respect is universal, and that goes a long way. And there's certain things in anywhere you go is one thing and it's something in common. You know what I'm saying? So those type of things I kind of just, you know, soak up, and whenever I record music, that's how it comes out. You know, with that mind frame.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Dave. If you don't mind, you can answer it if you want. You don't have to. But like, have you had any problems kind of integrating yourself in specific type of regions? Because some people may have felt like you wasn't authentic to that style of music or just that
Mm-mm.
region.
I never had that problem. Everywhere I go, like I get love everywhere I go. You know, I vibe with the people. Like people fuck with me
For sure.
everywhere I go. Like I never had that issue.
Okay. Because
Not at all.
I mean, because you, like I said, you in the music business, so I'm pretty sure you know, like
You know,
traveling to different places, people
nah,
be
you know, it
feeling
seemed like
ways.
it seemed like probably the only place I probably had that type of issue, if you know, close to that, in is North Carolina.
Really?
That's why I always go outside, because you got, you know what I'm saying, because they didn't they I don't know, it just wasn't. I don't know. I don't know. I can't place my finger on it, but I had to step outside of North Carolina in order to be appreciated more, because I wasn't really being appreciated in the city like that.
So do you feel like that's more like of a testament to the fact that the hip hop scene, like during that time when you was in North Carolina, wasn't as big or as noticeable as it is now with the likes of J. Cole, the Baby, Rap
Yeah, no,
City?
it wasn't. Yeah, no, it wasn't. I came up in all of that before all of that shit, you know. But yeah, yeah, and you notice even those I don't know about the Baby, but I know J. Cole, he had to leave the state in order to be accepted, you know what I'm saying? Because his style, he don't sound like, you know,
Mm-mm,
what a typical, you know, North Carolina artist would sound like.
not
And
at
not
all.
and don't get me wrong, now North Carolina, it has a variety. Like North Carolina is pretty much like me at this point, because there's so many different cultures. Like people come from all different parts of the US or the world just to live here. Like you got people from New York, a lot of New
Mm-hmm.
Yorkers out here now, a lot of people from the South, I mean, they coming from all over the place. So
Right.
that's influencing the music culture now, you know, in this day and time. But at one point it was like, you know, it was a certain, you know, if they wasn't feeling you, like I had it, like, you know, coming from New York to North Carolina, like coming from New York to the South, when you like if you came down here back in those days, it was a little bit different than it is right now. Like
How so?
it wasn't like uh all the way it wasn't like it was like it was a little bit of like, and I was a kid, so it didn't affect me as much, but I could see how the adults, it was a little bit of tension between the North and the South, because the South moves at a slower pace, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And you got a New Yorker come down, and New Yorkers like they real hustle and
Yeah.
bustle. They like, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? They like real fast talking, you know, you gotta think a little quicker with them. So it was always like, you know, it was always some kind of division, you know what I'm saying, when you first came out here, because I remember hearing a lot of go back to New York, then why don't you go back? You know what I'm saying? Like that type of shit. So it took a while for that to kind of like over time that kind of like that faded out in the area in Raleigh, and you know, and Charlotte, you know what I'm saying, that kind of faded out with the more northerners that moved down, and
Right.
you know, eventually the kids started growing up with each other, so it wasn't that foreign to them no more. So, you know, and I think that same thing had a lot to do with as far as like the music and the music scene and everything like that.
So like as far as the music scene is concerned, and like this is specific to North Carolina, this is like specific to any and everywhere. Like, do you feel like the integration of different types of regions being influenced in a music, do you think that's better for music, or do you think it's better for music to kind of have their set type of musical style? Like when you hear New York, you think New York. When you hear Atlanta, you think Atlanta, LA, so on and so forth.
That's a good question. That is a really good question. It's but it's really not going to be no way around that now, because everybody's influenced by everything right now all around the world because of social media. Like, information gets across like that. So It's not like back in the day where we didn't have social media. So we pretty much influenced by our environments, what I'm saying, what we saw every day and shit like that, or, what we picked up on. And it was like a pretty much that area. That's what they wear. That's how they act. That's how they talk. Now it's different, what I'm saying? And music is going to reflect that, what I'm saying? So do I think it's better? I thought it was cool. I like that era. I like that time when it was like that, but there's no way we're ever gonna go back to that. So I can't.
I feel what you're saying, because the reason I asked that question is because, like, for me, like, I love 90s music, like hip hop, R&B, whatever. And you know as well as I do that it's more like region centric. Like when you hear Biggie, you know what's going on.
But that's why they didn't have social media back then. They was only influenced, they'll get their influence by something. They may get a whiff of something, but they didn't really see that culture like that. So they only was going by what they actually saw, what they was influenced by in their areas. So I like that. I do like that. And like I said, it reflected in the music, but
it ain't never going back that way.
Nah, I ain't going back, man. I ain't going back to that. I like that better, for sure. But them days is over.
I think I like that too, because like listening to that music, like it kind of took you to those places, like for you not to be able to, like, because everybody don't get a chance to travel like as frequent as other people, so being able to escape like in the music and be teleported to those places by listening to the music, I think that kind of allowed people to not only connect to those specific artists more, but connect to those types of places more too. Like once they did get a chance to go out there, like I think about Illmatic all the time. Like just like with this conversation, like you could have been from Alaska, like, and you put on Illmatic, like you feel like you in Queensbridge.
You feel like you're in New York.
You feel like you're in Queensbridge in the mid 90s. Like, you feel me?
Yeah, Reasonable Doubt. I remember, man, when I heard Reasonable Doubt, I was actually driving. I was riding to New York. I was a kid, but we was riding in New York, and my stepfather had put the Reasonable Doubt on, and I'm just like looking around. We riding through the Bronx and Brooklyn and all that. I'm like looking around. I'm like, this shit sounds like what I'm listening to right now. This shit is like, this is it. You know what I'm saying? There's no feeling like that. Like that's something that you can't buy. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Kendrick Lamar's album, his first, The Good Kid, Mad City, he takes you to LA with that shit right there, man. I like albums like that. I appreciate that part of music.
Yeah, for sure. And for like the artists who are able to encapsulate that and really put that forth in their music and make it prevalent, like that's what separates them from the rest of the pack to me.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Man, I totally agree.
Now, because music is like it's one of them things where like you don't even got to speak the language to know how it make you feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a fact. That's what drew me into it. You know what I'm saying? I love music. Like just aside of just making music, I just love music. I just love listening to music, especially like the old music. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just shit that you listen to and it just takes you back to a certain time period, and that's the part I like about music.
So let me ask you this. So like outside of hip hop music specifically, like do you get influenced by other types of music like R&B, soul, jazz, rock?
I get influenced by a lot of old music. Like a lot of like I listen to what the legends was listening to. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So, I was told if you want to be great, you gotta study what the greats was studying. So but I grew up on that type of stuff. I grew up on it anyway, just because my parents was listening to it, and you know what I'm saying, so I'm influenced by a lot of I listen to doo-wop, I listen to Motown shit, and I got I got different playlists, but it's a lot of stuff from like the the 90s, the 80s, all those time frames, like those. It just had a certain style. The music was just so, I don't know, man. It just had a different texture than I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? So I love listening to that shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I know, whatever I listen to, it comes out. I display it in my music. A mixture of all that.
So, like, what would be like your top 5 musicians of all time?
Musicians of all time?
Yeah.
If it's these kind of, it's so many artists out there, so these can always shift around. But if I had to give you said 5,
just right now, just like music in general,
just overall,
overall, like who your top 5 like most influential or greatest, like whatever criteria you want to use.
So I had to go Michael Jackson for sure.
For sure.
Just as an entertainer. I had to go James Brown,
Absolutely.
because
most sampled guy in the history of music.
If you think, I mean, and that right there pretty much birthed hip hop as far as how when that shit started, it was everybody was using James Brown beats, and that shit, it was just funky. That kind of introduced hip hop. That really was like a big part of hip hop. So James Brown got to go up there. I got to give it to Biggie. Notorious Big.
Okay.
Tupac. I guess I'm gonna just go with the rappers for the last and Jay-Z.
And Jay.
Those 5 right there. Those are 5 that I could, as far as like just really, I mean, it's more people I was influenced by for sure.
No, of course.
But it's just like what I got from those people was like, I kind of like a big part of my creativity as far as music.
All right, let's dive into it. I'm a music guy, you're a music guy. Let's dive into it. What specifically did you feel like you got from each of those gentlemen?
Well, Mike was he was an entertainer, like
absolutely,
like and like he was just so smooth with it, like, and just natural, like, and it was cool. Like when I'll give you a story. Like when I was like 3 years old, I used to watch this tape of him over and over. It was the making of the Thriller, and this is why I say these people influenced me, because that led me to, like, when I was doing the making of the TikTok thing, it was kind of like that effect right there. It's like what I got, and I was like, I want to display that same effect. But I was watching the making of Thriller, and I saw the whole process of them creating the video, and at the end you saw the final product. And I also like, as Michael, like looking at Michael Jackson growing up, he was like so magical, because you'll see he'll be like he'll be talking like, yeah, so when I started with me and my brothers, and then that motherfucker get up there and start singing it, start doing all this shit. You like, God, it's like 2 different people. You see him morph into a completely different person, right in front of your eyes. You like, yo, that shit is magical. So I definitely gotta give it to Mike first. Like, as far as in my lifetime, like as far as entertainment, I gotta give it to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. He was back in the day. Michael was back, and then it was also cool too seeing when I watched that same tape, it showed me like when he was a kid growing up with his brother. So you seen his evolution, and was like, man, this is it. Because when he was a kid, he was bad. You see him, dancing as a kid and singing and all that shit. You like, man, this dude, he had like a grown man inside his little kid body. And that shit right there, that right there was mind blowing. So that's why I would say Mike. That's why I get for Mike.
All right. So we got the story about Mike. What about James Brown?
James Brown, I just say James Brown because, like I said, hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop, and he also influenced Mike. So it was like, if it wasn't for James Brown, it wouldn't be no Mike. So it was like, I gotta give it to him because he influenced one of my favorite artists, and he influenced the culture.
Everybody else.
My favorite, you know what I'm saying? Like my favorite culture. So it's like, as far as hip hop. So that's why I gotta give it to James.
All right. So you said Biggie, right?
Biggie was just versatile. Biggie was very versatile, and the fact that he was like making all those records, like like Junior Mafia and Lil Kim, it was pretty much he put that there. Like that was all him. Like Lil Kim's first album, like that was big. You could tell that was big.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like, but it was so dope. I mean, because she delivered. Like, and I'm not taking anything away from Kim because she killed that shit.
It's a classic.
It's a man, hell yeah. And but it was like the fact that he was able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I know he would have did a whole lot more.
Oh,
you know what
sure.
I'm saying? You know, that influenced me. You know what I'm saying? That right there, that part of Biggie influenced me, and you know that's another reason why I want to work with. I like working with other artists and things like that. And his flow was crazy. He took rap to another level. You know, when he came out, he did things that, you know, and said things that you never heard nobody say before. So
it's a fact.
Yeah,
I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time. So I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I can attest to all the things that you just said. To big up Big for sure.
Yeah, Big was dope.
Okay, Tupac.
Pac, he was another one that you'll see morph in front of your eyes and shit. You know what I'm saying? You'll see this one side of him, and then you'll see Bishop, you know, come out, you know, from Juice and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, you know, I liked how he was able to juggle acting and rapping, because you didn't really have rappers that became like actors on the big screen back in that 90s, time. Back in that time, no, he broke down that. So that influenced me. That broadened my mind from, you know, I could do both of these shits. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that as far as he did a lot. It's a lot to Tupac that I like. But as far as influencing, that's what I got. That's what I got from Pac.
Oh, I mean, you could talk about the things you like too. We on the podcast.
Oh, yeah,
we here to talk, baby. Like,
oh yeah, no. I mean, well, as far as his also his versatility, where he was able to make
very versatile.
Yeah, he was versatile, you know, in a different way than Big, because he was able to show you his vulnerable side, but then he would show you the other side. The game, he showed you the different parts. You know, everybody has different parts of them. Everybody has, like, you know, it's different sides to everybody. You know, you're not always like this. You know what I'm saying? There's other parts of you. You may not show it as much, but there's other parts to you, and he expressed all of that. You know what I'm saying?
With a small amount of time.
With a small amount of time, both of him and Biggie, they both had a very small amount of time, and they was young as hell. They was kids, but even now we look at them, they look like grown ass men up there, like, you know, and the shit that they was talking, it was very mature and smart. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that right there, you know, that right there is a reason why I appreciate them as artists.
Yeah. All right. So Jay-Z, I'm really interested to hear about this one.
Well, Jay-Z, when Jay-Z came out, like I told you, when I heard Reasonable Doubt, we was in New York. So that right there, that moment, listening to this album for the first time, that right there was like, and the way he was rapping on it, the way he was rapping on the album, he was like talking kind of. It was like he was having a conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just going with like why I fucked.
No, for sure. I told you. We rolling. We good.
Yeah, but as far as influencing, being influenced by Jay-Z, his evolution and showing how far you could take things. Like, he's up there. He's holding the flag for hip hop right now, because there was a point where, you know, somebody at his age would not be rapping. Right. You know what I'm saying? But he's still rapping and he's still respected. Like, he's up there in the front, like in the front line of hip hop. Just, you know, because I'm a hip hop fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up with hip hop. I was a baby, you know, when hip hop was coming up. I seen it start going mainstream and shit like that. So for him, you know, watching him do that, and he never made a whack verse. Like, he doesn't feel like he has to do so much to get your attention. You know what I'm saying? You fuck with his skills. You know, you fuck with you when he delivers, he gives you quality content. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm influenced by Jay-Z, and he's a businessman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, he's an owner. You know what I mean? And that right there that's inspiring.
Okay, I can second all of the things you just said about all of those wonderful artists. I mean, because like I got my own like inspirations, from like different musicians and things like that. Of course, all of the same people that you just said at some point. But like, let me see, my five. I'm gonna start off with Nas.
Okay.
I'm gonna start off with Nas, but before I start off, I want to know how you ain't put Nas in your file. You're from Queens, man.
I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I just because I wasn't. I'm not gonna say I wasn't really influenced by Nas. Like I wasn't really. I'm not saying that Nas isn't dope or anything like that. But you asked me who was I influenced by?
No,
like
right.
The five people I was influenced by Nas.
Why not specifically? I'm very curious to know.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of anything that I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
I ain't gonna put you on the spot, so I ain't gonna put you on the spot.
You got me sound like a Nas hater. I'm not. I don't hate Nas. I fuck with Nas. You know what I'm saying? No, but I'm just. But the question was,
my fault.
Who influenced me? I can't. I can't think of anything that Nas influenced me on as far as.
Okay. I mean, that's fair enough. I just wanted to know because Nas.
Yeah.
Because to me, like, all right, I ask you this: is Nas in your top 5 rappers of all time? Like just best MC? Nah. All right.
You got me sounding crazy.
What's the 5s? Like, what's the 5?
My 5 top MCs?
Yeah.
Biggie, Jay-Z, Big Pac J. I fuck with Kendrick. I gotta put Kendrick up there.
Okay. That's fair enough. I ain't mad at that.
And then who? Let me see. I mean, that one right there, I could give to Nas. I could give to Nas. I could give to Nas. Let me see who would take the 5th spot. It would be Nas or Big Pun was a beast too, man.
Yeah, Pun's in my top 3.
Yeah, Pun was crazy. And man, and Beanie Siegel, man, when Beans was fucking bananas.
Yeah,
man.
for
you
sure.
know what I'm saying? Like, so I would juggle with that 5th spot right there. I wouldn't just straight give that to Nas. Like there's a lot of people that.
No, listen, I just wanted to know that because for me, right, like I got Nas as the greatest of all time. Like I just think Nas is like okay, like I feel like Nas got number 1 for me because my 2 other favorite rappers passed away early, which is Big L and Big Pun.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they my 2 favorites, and then Nas is my 3rd favorite. But Nas, he was able to continue on, so I can't put them in front of Nas. You know what I'm saying? So my top 3 go Nas, L, and Pun. Right.
Okay.
But for me, Nas is I feel like all the things that people say about Jay, it applies to Nas, but people don't like to give Nas that credit.
Really?
Yeah, like. Go ahead. Actually, whatever. What's the question?
What do you think? What do you think about? What do you think that they say about Jay?
Like how people like to attribute a lot of things to the ranking that don't necessarily apply to the music, right? So like we talk about Jay's a businessman. Jay, he whatever, right? Nas is if he don't got more money than Jay, he not that far off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So something like that. I'm like, you can make the same argument. It's not like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like one doing real well and one not. Like they both
right
here. Then as far as musically is concerned, it's like people talk about like the growth of Jay, which I love Jay, like Jay my man. But I feel like people slight Nas a lot when we talk about these hip hop conversations. But like we talk about Jay and his growth as an artist, like he started talking about his grown man type situations, like. So did Nas, but it's not as appreciated as much as you would appreciate Jay's Black Album or 444 or like those.
I think Jay was able to stay more consistent than Nas.
For sure.
I think that's probably that's what separates them. It was like he was able to always he was just like this the whole time.
Yeah.
And always like, respected, like Nas went in and out. Like Nas will, he'll go like this and then he'll come with some hot shit and then you won't hear from him for a while. So Jay was more, he always kept himself in your face. I remember like I knew every summer growing up, Jay was dropping an album. He was dropping an album. So you know what I'm saying? Nas never did that. Never was like he wasn't like he didn't go that. He didn't do it for that long, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll stop for a minute.
I know, I got what you're saying. Like so, cause for me right now, right? Like Nas dropped to me 3 straight classics, like with KOD 1, KOD 2, and Magic, right?
Okay.
You don't hear shit about it. You feel what I'm saying?
So these are recent joints. See, that's great.
That's what I'm saying.
See,
KOD came out. KOD, the first one. KOD came out probably 2020. KOD 2 came out 2021, I believe, and then Magic came out the end of 2021, like December of 2021.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
He won his first Grammy for King's Disease 1. He won his first
crazy.
Grammy.
That's crazy, yeah.
But that's my point though, right there. Like he's putting out like work that's probably better than anybody at the moment.
Now literally. At the moment, I haven't been keeping up with him, but I can imagine at the moment. I was just speaking from the past, like that.
No, I mean, even then though, like it's kind of hard to even like say he not top 5 or like just have him in this kind of conversation. Not you specifically, but just people in general.
I wouldn't disagree with anybody saying that he's in it. I could understand why he could be in somebody's, some type top 5 or whatever. That makes sense to me. I get that. I definitely get that. But as far as like me and like influential and ship like that, that's yeah.
I got you sounding like a Nas hater. My bad.
You do got me. I came up in a household with 2 brothers, and we all fuck with hip hop, but we all had our dude. My younger brother had Nas, and my younger brother had Pac. Mm-hmm. My other brother, my stepbrother, he was a Nas dude, and I was Jay-Z, and but we all fucked with all of their music, though. We all fucked with all their music, but we was always pro this person, you know what I'm saying, coming up. So I get it, but it's just all perspective. It's just all...
It's all subjective. Like, it's no right or wrong answer. Like, my brother, he not a Nas fan. He be like, I don't understand why you like Nas.
That's how me and my brother was. That's how me and my other brother was. He's just like that. He was a straight Nas fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was we had these conversations coming up, all the time.
No, because for me, like listening to Nas, it's like when you think of the like what makes hip hop music like great, right? You think about the stories that's being told, the pictures that's being painted, being able to just transport yourself into that story that's being told, right? Now you got I'll just name a few people, but you like when that conversation comes up, you think of Slick Rick. You think of Nas, you think of Biggie, you think of you think of Scarface, like you think of those kind of guys, right? But for me, Nas he just did it the best, like to me. And then the type of shit he was saying, like even listening back to Illmatic, like, do you hear what he's saying at 18, 19, 20? Like for you to be thinking like that, being able to put that in words and talk about them experiences.
Yeah, that was and that was a real New York album too, though. That definitely was a New York album. I think Nas probably influenced me the most when he did the If I Ruled the World. Remember that album it was written. Yeah, that probably was, I guess that Illmatic was my favorite album, but that, I don't know, If I Ruled the World, like that was like the theme of my summer when that shit came out. Like, and then we was going to Times Square, he was standing on the top of the that might have, I don't know, I guess that might have influenced me to like kind of look at like the street shit in a luxurious way or some shit like that. Just like I don't know the way he did it in the video, the lightings and all that shit. that right there, I think I'm influenced by that visual right there. The If I Ruled the World, that video, as far as the visual, that's what Nas influenced me the most.
I'm gonna get off the Nas conversation. I don't want the people to be listening and be like, "Damn, Snyp a Nas hater." Like,
yeah, he's talking crazy about Nas.
I ain't gonna do that to you. I ain't gonna do that to you. Oh shit, man.
Oh man, no,
cause a lot of people really be feeling like this about Nas, and for me, I'm just like, I'm not getting why like the things that we praise other MCs for. We discredit Nas for. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I don't discredit him. I'm not
saying you. You my man. We on the pod together, so you know me making you look good is a good thing. So I can't. I can't have you on here, you know, looking wild, bro. But yeah, like a lot of people don't like subscribe to that type of thinking. Like they be like, I mean, I don't want to hear all this conscious rap. But then when Jay talk about credit and art, and I should have bought this building and that, they be like, oh my god, like, and that's my man. Like Jay, my man. Like I love Jay, but I just don't like how people be trying to downplay my man Nas like that. But shouts out to all of them, man.
Yeah, for real, man. Shout out to all of them, man. They definitely they did their thing, man. They definitely was a big part of the culture as we know it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I appreciate all of them, man, for what they did.
I'm gonna get on the topic. I don't want nobody to be like my man Snyp. He don't like Nas.
Nah, man, stop saying that, man. Nah, I fuck with Nas.
No, I know you do. I know you do. I don't want nobody else to listen to it and be like, yeah, he really don't fuck with Nas.
If you get that out of this conversation, make sure you rewind it and listen.
No, real talk. We love Nas. We do. Luciano loves Nas.
Yes. It's hilarious.
So look, I ain't even gonna stay on the music topic. I still got 4 more people to go. We just talked 20 minutes about Nas.
That's true. Yeah.
But no, so transitioning, I did definitely want to talk to you about the acting thing, because we touched on it a little bit earlier on, but we didn't really get to dive into it. Mm-hmm. So as far as that's concerned, like, where do you see yourself kind of going into that kind of realm? Because I know you do TikToks and all that, but you want to do like movie acting, right? Television.
Yeah, I want to do. Like I want to get into all of that, man. I want to get into, I just want to do like just production, man. I just want to produce, like, I would like to play in a movie, like play a starring role in a movie, just one. It just be one movie, but I want to be more behind the scenes and creating. You know what I'm saying? I really don't care about being in the spotlight like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's more, as far as with me putting out content and stuff like that, it's more just for just building the brand, you know what I'm saying? Building my brand. But I definitely would like to, do some documentaries, some life story type movies, I wasn't touching all that. I like, a lot of my favorite movies coming up was like life stories, like the 5 Heartbeats, mm-hmm. and, Malcolm X, and, things like that. And it's like so many stories out there that haven't been told. And I want to touch into that, where I get to meet the families, and I get to bring this character back to life and put them on screen, whether I'm doing it or I'm directing somebody else to do it.
For sure. Do you got anything specific that you want to do, or like a specific type of biopic you want to make?
Well, I want to see. I either want to see it, I either want to be a part of it, or create it, whatever. But Marvin Gaye, like I want his story, because
I'm surprised nobody even did one.
He has such an interesting story just by reading about him and shit like that. Like that's probably the first person, if I was to dive into that, that's probably the first person I would want to do,
Okay. I'm now that you said it, like, I'm surprised nobody even thought about doing that or has done it.
I don't know if it could be a family issue. Yeah. It could be like this family they don't want, possibly tell a story. You just don't know. But I think that would be a good one.
Oh yeah, shit. Me, I'm still waiting on the Big L documentary to come out.
Big L, that's what I'm saying. All these stories, man. Big L, like, and that's another lane that hasn't been really tackled that much yet, is telling those stories of those rappers that came out around that time. You get the last one we got was the NWA joint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was good. That, you know, that was an excellent movie. You know, and that was from the 80s into like the mid 90s. But we don't got no, I guess we got the Biggie and the Tupac, but there's other rappers and shit that, you know, that got stories and shit like that, you know, that I would like to see.
Well, hey man, shit, we might be able to, you know, make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and it could be a short film. You know what I'm saying? Just as long as you able to, you know, just embody that character and deliver that, you know, deliver that feeling. That's what I want to do, man.
I mean, shit, you got actor friends. I got actor friends.
Yeah,
we can make it happen.
Right? Yeah,
I'm serious.
Exactly.
Man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's for sure, man. You know what I'm saying? But you wanna make sure the production is right. You want to make sure everybody. You don't want to just put out anything. You want to make sure the quality. Like my thing is, I want to make it easy on the eye. Like I want people to. I want it to sound. I want to hear it, feel it, see it. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there. So yeah, but if anybody wants to do shit like that and really invested in that, I'm down with that.
No, yeah, I'm actually glad you just brought that up too. Like about making your work really speak volumes. Because again, like a lot of people do a lot of things in the art. Some people do it for a quick moment. Some people want to sustain it for a very long time, and they put a lot of time, effort, and energy into it.
Right.
Do you, being an artist in a lot of different facets, do you feel like when you do your art, that's something that you think about, like pushing through? Like when you making your art, like I want this to last. I want this to be something that is going to stand the test of time.
Yeah, I want to feel it, and my thing is if I feel it like that, it's gonna last. It's gonna last. You know what I'm saying? Like that's anytime I do something, you know, I don't necessarily think about. Because a lot of shit I do, like people won't even really get it when I first put it out there. It'll be like something that you'll appreciate later on. You know what I'm saying? But I do it so I can feel it, like, and I want, you know, however I feel it, I want the person to get that same feeling when they hear it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that'll last forever if it's really good. Like, because I listen to fucking old records and I still feel that shit. You know what I'm saying? And let me see a movie of somebody and they telling their life story and they bust out that song. You see the story behind them making that song. Like, you're gonna feel it even more because now you got the backdrop, the history
connected
of that.
to it.
Yeah, you connected to it. So yeah, so anything that I do, I just make sure I want people to feel it for sure.
All right. So I got one more thing for you, but before I do that, you got any questions you want to ask me? Like anything? It can be anything. It don't matter.
What do you see yourself doing, man? As far as like, you know, as far as in the acting world, you want to be like like you want to play characters, or do you want to be more behind the scenes?
So I actually just shot a movie, like my first like short film. I actually just shot that probably like a month ago. It was a really great experience.
Yeah,
because I come from stage background. Like I never was on
like theater.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I was never like on like a film set or anything like that. So that was like a whole new experience for me. But it was a great experience. I got to work with a lot of great people, a lot of talented people who made that experience for me a great one, and one that I would gladly do again.
That's dope.
Being in front of the camera, I'm cool with it. It's not really a hard thing for me. I mean, I'm on camera now, so right. but that's not really a hard thing for me. I do want to attach myself to stories that I think hold a lot of weight, that impact people in a positive way, and something that definitely stands the test of time. So 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, you'll be looking at it, be like, yo, I still resonate with this. This is something that I feel. This is something that makes me think, or something that I could pick a gem out from when I better understand it, or whatever the case may be.
Right. Yeah.
I'm into all of that. Like all of that type of stuff when it comes to being in front of the camera and portraying characters or creating my own characters.
Right.
As far as behind the camera, I would love to do that too. Like that was more of what I did in theater. Like I was more behind the scenes up until the point like later on when I I actually got on stage and performed, but I was more behind the scenes though,
right?
Initially, so that's not a hard transition to make.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to doing that too, though. Just having that type of experience and seeing what it is to be a director or an executive producer or a DP or whatever the case may be.
Right. Like, yeah. Fact. Yeah. That's dope. Well, I wish you the best of success. You know, and maybe one of these days we'll collaborate on some shit.
For sure. You just gotta let me know, man. You hit my line. Like, we out.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Definitely, man.
No, yeah. You got any more questions, or that was the only one?
Nah. I ain't even have. I ain't come prepared.
No, you all good. I mean, I thought you might have had some questions like just throughout the duration of the conversation, but a lot of people don't really be having questions. They they be like, I just want to answer my questions.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I ain't even.
No, you all good.
If you would have told me, I would have had a bunch of questions.
Oh no, you all good. You all good. All right, so I'm gonna get you out of here, but before I do, it's customary to the HolloTalk podcast. Can you please provide the listeners with 3 gems that they could take away from this conversation to apply to their everyday life?
Apply to everyday life. 3 gems. Okay. One is don't overthink things. Just kind of just give your mind an opportunity to rest every day. Without thinking so many. Because our mind thinks a bunch of thoughts every day. Sure. You know what I'm saying? So if you can find time throughout the day to just pause your mind and sorry, my thing. No,
you all good.
Yeah, so just just pause your mind and just just kind of just think about positive things. It helps out a lot. Another gem. Always believe in yourself, even when it seems like nobody around you is believing in you. Believe in yourself. Don't ever stop believing in yourself until you no longer, and that's never going to happen. You're always going to exist because energy only transfers. Mm-hmm. So you gotta always believe in yourself. And the third gem is take it day by day, appreciate every day, and what I'm saying, know that every day is a new day. Every day is another opportunity for you to be closer to where you want to be.
All right. Listen, y'all heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, man, bro, I can't thank you enough for coming on and talking to me, though. Like, I know it's been a low minute, for us to make this happen, but we made it happen. That's all I could ask for.
It's already done. It's there now. And
I truly appreciate you for that, though.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Of course, man.
Appreciate that.
But before you go, I just want thank all the HolloTalk podcast listeners and supporters for supporting us through and through each and every week, supporting me, supporting our guests and everything like that. I can't thank y'all enough, and for you again, bro. I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing this time and space with me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely.
Right. Well, we signing out, ladies and gentlemen. Snyp Luciano. Tell them where they can find you, man.
Make sure y'all follow me on all my social media. I'm very active on TikTok. I'm very active on Instagram. I got a lot of new content coming to my YouTube channel. Just look me up, Snyp Luciano. I don't know if you're gonna have the links in here, but I'll send you my links.
I got you.
Yeah. Snyp Luciano. Just look me up, and like I said, TikTok and Instagram. That's the best place to reach me if you want to DM me or anything like that. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Get at me.
You already. All right. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna sign out. Snyp Luciano. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.
All right, bro.
Sign out. We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.
Peace.